is Zambia. We were doing so yesterday as well. So the country reflecting on yesterday's general elections, attention turning to the role young people played in shaping the country's democratic process. Young voters make up a significant part of Zambia's electorate. Yet questions remain about their participation, representation, and influence in politics. To speak about the youth experience during the elections, we're joined now by Zambian author, young politician, and activist Damiona Mabingo. Damiona, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. So, tell us a little bit more about your voting experience yesterday and what the reports are that are coming through just in terms of voter turnout, particularly amongst the youth demographic.
Thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you today. Well, yesterday I voted from Wanjuni. It's in Katuba constituency. That's where I voted from, Wanjuni school. From what I observed, well, I cannot clearly state the statistics in regards to the official numbers of the people that turned out. I think ECZ should be able to do that on its time. But from what I saw myself, I can tell you that a lot of young people turned out in numbers. A lot of young people woke up very early to go and vote.
And how many young people were eligible to vote in this election? What percentage?
I'm not really I do not have the actual information in regards to how many people actually young people voted for this election, but what I am fully aware of is that young people are the largest voters in this election. It's similar to 2021, where we had almost the same experience. Remember, Zambia is a young population. Almost about 70% of our population is below the age of 30. And it tells you that the young people are the biggest voting bloc in the country.
Was there a significant turnout from the youth?
Well, from what I saw, where I was voting from, it's good. A lot of young people turned out to participate in the civic duty.
Okay, so then let's just talk about the issues that were driving young people to take part because we know some have often expressed frustration about unemployment and the cost of living as well as limited opportunities.
Well, you're right. The issue of the cost of living and unemployment has been a conversation amongst a lot of young people that haven't had the opportunity to have that employment. It is one of the reasons that young people went to vote. Young people went to vote because they realized that um, continuity, for example, is could help them probably get employment. Because remember where we're coming from as a country, first of all, where we had a serious debt situation. We failed to service a debt of 400 million. Then we had an administration that came in, managed to restructure a debt. And this is when now, for example, we had about 50,000 plus teachers that were employed, about 20,000 nurses that were employed. So young people had a question of whether to vote for continuity, to vote for a path that is showing that they can get an employment as well. Because the question that they're asking themselves is that if my friend, a teacher, or my neighbor was employed under the government, if my friend, a nurse, was employed under a government, probably I should be next. So these are one of the major reasons that made some of these young people to wake up to go and cast their votes in different polling stations across the country.
Okay, so let's just talk about the lived experience of young people. We're speaking about it on the program today and yesterday about how some observers are saying that the incumbent President Hichilema has done a good job just in terms of management of the economy, and ultimately that Zambians would have been worse off had he not, you know, interceded in the manner that he did. What is the opinion of young people? Because sometimes, unfortunately or fortunately, they rely on their lived experience, but there is also then the statistics on the ground, what is their understanding of the current conditions and why they are the way they are?
Well, as you have clearly stated, what the observers have mentioned, what they have said, well, it's 100% correct. President Hichilema inherited a country. He took over a country that was so much in debt, a debt that was very unsustainable. And when it comes to the understanding of these issues by the young people, I should tell you that the majority of young people surely understand the situation that President Hichilema got the country on and the trajectory that it's going. But however, we still have a small group of young people that do not appreciate or understand the situation because they have had people coming to speak to them and promising them miracles if they're elected in this government. They've promised to do the unthinkable. They've promised to do they've promised to do things that practically are quite impossible in the economic landscapes of how countries are governed.
Just speaking of those parties, and I'm also talking about the governing parties and the opposition that is there that is contesting these general elections. What is the view of young people as political actors whose opinion, whose views genuinely shape policy?
Well, the view of young people when they look at the oppositions that we have, the view is just that the opposition is a regrouped form of government that wants to form government again. That's as simply as that. That's the view that is there. There isn't any other word that you can use to put it right. The opposition have regrouped themselves to form um, a government, and the young people are asking themselves if the former administration, which had put us so much in debt, and now they've regrouped themselves, calling themselves another political party, and they want to form government. Is this a decision that we should make? Should we vote for these people? These are the questions that young people were asking.
All right, and I'm hoping that our connection will improve. The question that I'm asking is the view of not only the opposition, but including the governing party, of young people as political actors whose ideas actually can and do shape policy. Okay, well, looks like unfortunately we have lost that connection with he's an author and also political young politician, Damiona Mabingo.
It is interesting what he was saying about the dynamics, because yesterday I was getting another version of that. That there are, yes, young people are demographically, but they didn't register as much as women did in this particular election. So, new people, more women than young people, even though there are young women.
No, of course, but the
I mean?
distinction is clear. On the one, we're using a gendered lens. On the other, we're using. And he actually also could not even say what percentage they make up of the tipping point for this election and what the voter turnout is for young people. Hopefully,
but you're still convinced 70%. I just want to
Uh,
keep it on record.
Listen, you can write it on a slate and go up a mountain and mount it there, man.